In the last episode, we built a beautiful town center for Bellevue. And in today's episode, we're getting to work providing luxury goods coverage from launderers, from carpenters, and much more for our new Artisan Residence. We're also getting to work building a new major boulevard complete with both townsfolk and artisans because one of my residents requested it, and I just can't say no to their stupid looking faces. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Town to City. So I know we've unlocked the ability to go to another region and set up a farming town. And I do want to do that because a gentle valley lake bordered by fertile grounds, painting a picture of a farmer's village ready to be brought to life, sounds kind of amazing. But I think there's some work that I would like to do in Bellevue before we move on. And admittedly, we're probably going to be going back and forth, so it's not like a one-way trip, but there's a couple of things I'd like to do first. I mean, we still have a ton of research that we can do here. We have the upgraded roads, the ability to remove rocks, we have the artisan class residence, which I think could be kind of amazing, and I've seen some comments talking about building some of these guys around our town square, but I do think to get these guys, we're going to want to make sure that they're nice and happy. I have done a little bit of experimenting, I want you to know, and I know that the artisans, I mean, we can click on it, we can unlock it, and I can just walk you through it. So these are the second class of residents in your city. You can assign a family to an artisan house to turn them into artisan class residents. And look at that house, it looks so good. I'm so excited about this. All artisan adults are available as artisan workers. As you grow your city, you will unlock commerce buildings that can only be operated by artisans. Artisans are more demanding than townsfolk. They require more luxury from commerce buildings to be happy. Artisans also become very unhappy when they do not receive enough luxury. So we can see here, for example, the fish stall does not provide any luxury benefits or bonuses, where the bistro provides 3. So that's something we're going to want to keep in mind. So something like the launderer does provide some luxury coverage. Something like the carpenter provides a little bit less. The smithy provides about the same as the launderer. So I think what we're going to do is maybe go for better boots because it increases the luxury of the shoemaker. And if we go and look at our shoemaker, it is now providing 3 luxury, which is kind of fantastic. Now, in saying all of that, I think we want to just generally bring the population up a little bit before we get too carried away. So we'll open up the station right there. And what I would like to do is, I think, go ahead and put, oh, there it is. There's our little artisan house. It looks so good. And we are going to get some of these. 100% we're going to get some of these. But I think I'm going to put a little house back here. It's kind of just to fill in the space, but I think a little house right there, I think that's a nice spot for it. And then I sort of like the idea of doing some houses back here. I sort of have some plans and some thoughts about how we can fill in some of this space. And I think some houses sort of looking out towards the water could be really nice. I think a little bit of a gap between them like that right there should be fine. We can speed things up a little bit, and I'm going to let this one build. And then I'm going to go into our roads tool. We want to get the brick road. We want a size maybe 2.5 on this. We'll go a little bit slimmer than usual. We want the line tool, and I am just going to go from right about here to right about, I want to say, there should be fine. I think right there is good. Now, the reason I want to do that is because we can then move this. In fact, you know what? I don't think we're going to move it at all. I think we'll just leave it be, and I'm just going to try and freeform place a bunch more of these. We'll turn off snapping to roads and whatnot. We'll rotate this guy around, and I think that is actually... that's pretty good right there. It's not going to be perfect, but that's all right. It doesn't have to be. Things are sped up a little bit as well, so it builds nice and quickly. This one right here can go, I want to say about there. And I was hoping I could get another one in here, and I could if I really wanted to, but I want to bring this path around the water. I want to build a little park down here. So I guess 3 houses is probably fair enough. I think that'll kind of work. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I think we can make that work. Now, do we have any houses available for anyone here? I suppose technically we do have this one. So we'll move someone in here, and I guess we'll get them working in, let's see, we could go for the butcher. We have 2 people available for this. Let's do the bistro, because it does provide luxury, and we are going to need that at some point in the not too distant future. So I think we'll stick with the bistro right there. I also want to look into research again, because I'm kind of thinking we get our hands on something like, I guess the launderer isn't a terrible idea. It does have low range though, which I don't necessarily love, but I think we go for the launderer. It's kind of a cool looking building right there, and I want to see what it looks like. I'm kind of thinking over this way for a launderer, so that again, once we do go ahead and put our artisans in here, we have some coverage. This thing's also kind of expensive, but it is, oh wow, it's a very cool looking building. It's not quite what I thought it was going to be, but it's a very cool looking building. I think this guy is going to live just up against this cliff. I want to say here is sort of my thinking. I don't know how well this is necessarily going to work, but I'm kind of liking the idea that it lives right about there for the launderer. We are still sped up, which is good, so this guy will build nice and quickly. We can get ourselves a road, and I think we'll go back to our size 3 roads, and I guess we want to just go straight across like this, just right in front of the launderer, so we have that connection, and then all of this needs to sort of come around. So my thinking for that is a little section of road just here, and then I should be able to use our curve tool to bring this around and get that beautiful little curve right there. And I should be able to blend all of this together if I'm not mistaken, which I think I can do. I think that's okay. I think that looks fine. We'll do the same thing down here at the bottom as well. This is just sort of going to come around, and we'll have a little bit of a gap in the middle, I think, but we can sort of make that work. I think that's what I want to go for that curve, and I think I do want to just fill in that part, and I think that looks okay. It's maybe a little bit much. It's maybe not, I don't know. I think it looks okay. I think it'll do just fine. So this guy has its road connection, which is great. We do need some people working in here, but I think first things first, I want to connect these guys to the rest of the roads as well. So we'll use the line tool again. We can just make sure our curve is 0, and we'll make sure that this is 2.5, because that's what this road down here is. And I think what we do is we go straight to about here. I think right about there should be good. We can curve this around the way we started to do. I love the road tools in this. I really do. I'm having so much fun with just the road tools alone. It's kind of like the first time I played City Skylines 2, to be honest with you. It's like it really, there's a lot of games. I've played a lot of games, first off, just in general. But second off, I've played a lot of games with a lot of road building, and I love finding a game that does something a little bit different with road building, and then you sort of can't go back. You can never really go back to those other games. Do I like that? I sort of do. I kind of like the little triangle right there. I think that's very cool. That wasn't intentional, but I kind of like it. We could do a little pine tree in the middle of it. Maybe just a medium tree, though, would make a little bit more sense. So something like this right here. I like that a lot. I do. I love that. We have room here for a park, which is great. We have room in here for a bunch of details, which is great, but we have room down here as well, which is sort of what I'm looking for. Now, if we go into research, we do have the ability to get stonework decorations, which gives us fountains and statues and stone benches and fountains. It also gives us the natural stone wall and the tall natural stone wall. So I think we need to wait for 750 research points. I think that could be really good. And while we do that, I think we can take a look at this little request. So, yesterday I sat down on a bench and got a splinter in my leg. It hurt really bad. Well, perhaps our town is growing so much, some of the old wooden benches are wearing down with use. It's even making our children cry. I'm not crying, you're crying. It would be a good idea to replace 5 wooden benches with those new steel benches. Okay. I mean, that looks pretty good, and I'm kind of okay with this. It gives me a new item, which is always fun to play with. So does that mean I actually need to go in here and I guess replace these guys? We can do that. We can get rid of 1, 2, and 3 of them. And then we'll go into here. We have our double metal bench, and we'll do, I guess, 1 right there. We can do 1 right here in the middle as well. And I guess we'll do 1 sort of over this way. I think right about there should be pretty good. So that's 3. We just need to do 2 more. We have 1 over here that we can get rid of. So we'll get rid of you. and replace it with the old steel bench right about there. And then I guess if we go over this way, didn't I do a bunch of benches around? I did do a bunch of benches around the fountain. Do I want to replace these guys? Is there an option to upgrade them? That would be very cool, actually, if there was an option to sort of upgrade existing decorations, but unfortunately, not an option. So we'll get rid of these guys, back into decorations, back to our steel bench, and all we need to do is put one, I want to say right about there. We'll do another one. That was actually the last one we needed to do. So we'll do these other ones, and then we'll complete our little request. Nicely done, putting up those steel benches. That'll prevent other children from definitely not getting hurt to the point of crying. You probably never had a splinter in your leg. Okay, so we got some money from that, which is fantastic. We didn't really need it, but we do unlock things from all of the requests, so I'm kind of okay with that. It is suggesting that we progress to start farming and unlocking more items, but here's the thing. If we were to get 30 artisan residents, we become a town, which, I mean, that is an option. That is a thing we can do, so I'm kind of thinking that that's maybe what we do. It doesn't seem like a terrible idea. We'll move these guys down here, though, and you guys can move in over here as well. That's going to let me start to max out the bistro. We can put more people in the butcher as well. We can get some people into the fish stall and into the poultry stall, which means this area is really nicely staffed. This one, unfortunately, I sort of forgot about, so we're going to need more people to work in there. But I'm also thinking this will probably need a warehouse of some sort. So if we were to get ourselves something like this guy, it unfortunately, I don't think fits. Oh, it does fit here. Do I like that? Do I want to carve away at the mountain? I don't know that I do. I'm going to be honest. So I'm kind of thinking we turn it sideways. I'm thinking we sort of line up the two back corners of these guys a little something like this. And then what I can do is go into draw roads. We can get ourselves a little, I think we're going to use the sandy road. And you might notice that I've disabled draw over existing paths. This is something that has been staring me in the face for quite a while. And it's something I've seen a couple of comments talking about. And I'm so glad you guys pointed this out because I kept forgetting about it. Basically, it just means that it does this. I don't have to erase parts of the path to make it sort of line up perfectly. So thank you for pointing it out because apparently I just didn't see it. I'm not sure why. Apparently it just went right past me. Now what I think we'll do is use a square brush here. Now we can rotate this guy around a little bit. I'm not too sure how well that's going to work, but I would like to get a decent little square, and I would like to do just something like, I want to say something like that should be fine. I think it looks okay. It gives us a path that runs up to this, which is totally fine. We can hold shift and then get rid of this a little bit to make it just a little slimmer, which I think looks fine as well. Obviously, we have a little bit of path in there, but that's not the end of the world. And then I think what we do is we get our stonework decorations, and I think we start detailing around this. Now, this gives us, well, like it said, it gives us things like the natural stone walls, which happen to look like this. And this is actually a really good opportunity to point out another thing that was pointed out to me in the comments, which is that you don't need to demolish walls to make them work. You can just click on them and then sort of drag the nodes around. You can continue to add sections to the end. So if I wanted to add a section here, I can. And then if I wanted to move it, I can. If I wanted to do this, I can. This is, again, so good. It's so good. I love it so much. So I think what we're going to do for this for this warehouse is I'm going to put a little wooden arch right about, I want to say, there. I think that's going to be good. I want to use some hedges to sort of bring this all together. So what I think we do is we go to about here, and I'm going to try, well, am I going to try and leave some grass between the hedge and the everything else? I don't think I am. I think I'll leave it for a little bit at the start there, but the rest of this can just sort of be right up against the road and then right up to about there. And I think that looks okay. I think that nicely sort of borders things. We'll do the same over here. We want to just bring this guy around as best we can right up to about there. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I think that's pretty perfect. I like that a lot. The next thing we can do is just very, very simply go in and add a bunch of trees. I think we start with a nice big tree. Maybe, actually, you know what? We'll start with some medium trees is what we'll do. We'll start with a medium tree back there. We'll do a medium tree in here. We can do this guy right up front. We can do another medium tree in here and maybe a medium tree just back there with now a nice big tree in this part of the yard. And if we go back to our small trees, we can get these little cypress ones. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and we'll do 1, 2, and maybe 3 on this. Well, maybe 3 and 4. I don't want to block the windows. That doesn't seem like a great idea, but I like how that's decorated. I think it looks fine. I think it does what I needed it to do. We can throw some little bushes back here, making sure that they're randomized so that they're not all identical. Same thing down there, and we'll throw some of the small bushes maybe into, maybe one big bush actually in here. So it sort of takes the place of one of the cypress trees without blocking the windows, which I think is good. Now, when it comes to the windows, we can do some lights over them because that'll give some light onto this road. We can do some lights over this doorway so that it's nicely lit up as well. We'll do some lights over that door and that door. And I guess we just decorate the buildings now, right? I guess that's the point we've gotten to. So we'll do some nice white flowers under those windows. We could do some nice white flowers up there as well, which I think looks a little bit silly, so I think we'll pass. And then here, we can do some red flowers, because I think they look really good on that building. And honestly, I think that's good. I think that fills in that space really, really well. All we need to do is paint the ground a little bit, make sure dithering's turned off, make sure it's a nice small brush, and something like that, I think, just really nicely connects that to the road. That's kind of perfect. Okay. So let's come back over this way then, because we did manage to get our hands on the natural stone walls, which I think will look very cool. I think what we'll do is get ourselves a little sandy road. I think we want to go for circles. I want to go for a 1.5, and I want to come straight through to about this spot should be fine. We then want to come off of this road over here. So we'll bring this out. This could probably be smaller, actually. I think this could come down to like a 1 a little bit. So we're going to go straight off of here in just a relatively nice straight line. I want to have a nice little straight section here. I want a little straight section just here. And then I should be able to curve this all together in a way that doesn't look too terrible. And there we go. We already have people walking across here, which is perfect. I know this is going to work as a little shortcut for some people, but that's something that I actually really like about some of the park spaces that I'm putting together. I like that it's a shortcut because it makes it look busier than it might otherwise be. And that's why this park in the middle here. That's why it's a big circle. That's why there's so many entrances, because it works like a shortcut and it makes it look busy in the mornings and the evenings as well. This one too, to a lesser extent. I think this will eventually become a pretty popular shortcut. And I mean, technically this one is probably also a shortcut for some of these guys. So it just makes them look busy. And that's something that I really, really enjoy. Now, when it comes to this space, what I think we're going to do is use the natural stone wall. Since it's new and since it's fancy, we can start right about here. We can drag it out a little something like this. And then what we can do is drag this one out to about this corner. And I think we just bring it straight down to the water right about there. Now, this might change at some point. This might end up looking a little bit different. I'm not too sure if this will be the long-term layout, but I figure we might as well play with some of the new stuff that we have. So we'll put the stone bench right here. We'll put a stone bench right here. I kind of love the idea of a lamppost in between them. I think that's kind of fun. I do like that. Oh, I do like that. Let's do a little light just on this corner as well to brighten up some of that space. We'll do a little light right back here to brighten up some of this space. We'll do a little light right on this corner as well to brighten up some of this space. And we'll do some lights over these doors as well, just so this little road has a bunch of light going on too. In fact, I might do a light here, even though this area is going to be covered in a lot of trees. I think that's going to be kind of cool to have. And I suppose, speaking of trees, we should figure out what's going in here. Now, I'm very tempted to be boring. I'm really, really tempted to just do a bunch of cypress trees along this wall. I know. I know I've done this already with the cypress trees in the middle of the road, but there's just something about them. There's just something about the look of these trees, or whatever they're called, just lined up like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I enjoy it so much. It looks fancy. I can't imagine I'm the only one that has this sort of interpretation of these trees. Like when you see, a row of like that type of tree along, someone's, the wall outside of someone's house, you kind of look at that and you're like, oh, that's a little bit fancy. Is it just me? Like, surely it's not just me. I'm really hoping I'm not alone in this one. And I've just got this weird sort of relationship with with these trees. You're really strange. But I think it looks good anyway. Let's get some bushes in here. We'll get a little bit of color here in just a second as well, because it is just very green and sort of beige looking right now. We'll do some small bushes for a little bit of height variation on some of the foliage as well. And then in terms of color, I'm sort of thinking we do maybe purple over on this side of things, because I think it'll look really nice against the yellow house. So purple right there, a little bit of purple back there, a little bit of purple just in here, here, and here as well. And I do like that. And then over on this side, I'm kind of thinking yellow, just because I sort of like the idea of purple and yellow sort of being together. I think that's kind of cool looking. We'll do a little, can I get one in here? I don't know if I can. I don't think it's going to let me, unfortunately. Oh, hold on. There is like a little spot. And you know what? I'm not going to fight with it. It's fine. We're not going to waste too much time trying to make that happen. I do also want to just put some bushes back there with a little bit more, just a little bit more yellow, just because I think it really looks good. And then what we can do, of course, is come in here with some flowers. We can put some little yellow flowers out here in the water as well. Over on this side, we can do a little bit of purple just to fill out that space. And I think that looks okay. I think that looks pretty good. It's just a nice little area people can go to chill in, and it's good. I do want to do some swans. I think a couple little swans just chilling right here could be kind of nice. I sort of like the idea of having some swans, or just maybe one swan out here that roams around a little bit. I think that's pretty cool. We can of course do maybe some ducks just next to these little lily pads as well, so we have a bit of movement, and I think that's okay. I don't think I want to overdo it. Although I do need to fill in this space. I do need to do some bushes along the water and, generally make this place look a bit more alive, but I don't want to overdo it down here is what I mean. And there we go. I think this looks absolutely fantastic. I love this little path. I love all of the color that we have going on here as well. I just think it might be missing maybe some more swans. I think some swans might be a kind of a cool idea just here and here. Maybe 3 of them. Maybe there's a little council of swans going on over here. That seems like kind of a cool idea. And then maybe I think we will do some little ducks just sort of roaming around there. We'll have another little duck roaming around over there. We'll have a little duck roaming around over here. Be another little duck with it. And that just makes this place look a little bit more alive, especially since we're not detailing the whole thing. We will come up around here eventually. We will fill in this space eventually, but it just makes it look a little bit more alive. And there we go. We've got people coming out already, walking down the little sandy path. I love that. I really do. I have noticed that I did ever so slightly forget to do the stone underneath their doors. So let's just get that connected here, and right here. And then I have this space, which I also totally forgot about. So let's very quickly put this together. Again, we're going to use a sandy road. I think we'll use this guy with absolutely no curve. I think a 1. Actually, you know what? A 1.0 is pretty solid for this. And we can just drag it straight through here. This is also going to end up being a bit of a shortcut for people, but I think I'm okay with that. I don't think it's the end of the world. And then for this place, I don't know what kind of wall to go for. I'm sort of thinking hedges. I'm kind of thinking tall stone wall could be interesting. Maybe both. So let's try doing a hedge to begin with, and then we'll do the tall stone wall sort of on the inside. So from the outside, you get that sort of double stack thing with the walls where it's going to look nicely detailed, and I think that's kind of cool. Although I will say that looks okay on its own. I'm not going to lie. I do like that on its own, but we'll see if we can maybe get something that looks pretty good here with the with the hedge and the wall together. If we just bring this around and try to match everything right to about there, I kind of like it. I do notice we have some parts that need moved down here just to be a little bit closer to the hedge itself. That's pretty good. In here kind of needs shifted as well if I can grab it, which I totally can. So right to about there. That seems pretty good. And this one also needs to come through to about there. I think that's good enough. I don't think we need to go too crazy with it. I do like that a lot though. So then for this space, in terms of decorations, plaza, I'm thinking another wooden slide is a great idea. I sort of want to put it maybe here is kind of where I'm thinking. I don't know if that's going to be accessible, but I think right about there with a little hopscotch thing just right about there. And I think that's okay. We don't need to overdo it. We don't need to go too crazy with it. We just need to get some benches so people can sit and kind of keep an eye on their kids to make sure they don't fall off the slide or get into join a gang or whatever it is kids do these days in parks. I've got no idea. We'll just put a couple of benches right there. We'll do another one right there. That'll be fine. Oh, there we go. We have ourselves a little park in here. I absolutely love this. Although I can't help but notice that I might want to do just another bush on maybe this corner just to sort of make it look a little bit more complete. That does look a little bit bare right there. I'm sort of thinking a little bit of color right here could be a good idea, and a little bit of color. It's a color. It's a white flower, but you know what? It's okay. I think that looks fantastic. I love that so much. Now over this way, we have had some families waiting super patiently for a house. So I think it's about time that we get these guys that want a house decorated with and surrounded by flowers into this place. And then unfortunately we have no available houses left. So I think it might be an idea, just because we can, to go ahead and upgrade these guys. I think it's, I don't love the idea of these super tall houses just all in a row. It does look a little bit like a modern apartment building, and their balconies and windows are blocked a little bit back here, but it does give me space to move people in here, and that's kind of what we need to do. So unfortunately, necessity is taking priority right about here. Now let's get some people into this warehouse so that thing gets up and running. Let's get some people into the laundry so that gets up and running. And we want to make sure you are connected to here, which you are. Do we have demand is 388? Okay, I need one more person working in there. Interesting. Okay, well, that's fine, I suppose. Is the train station still open? It is, so we can have more people coming in here. We do have room in some of these houses for them if and when they do come in here. So I suppose we'll take a look at this request and see what's going on. Mayor, our town is growing, but there aren't enough homes for all the new people. We don't want them to sleep outside, do we? Settle down. I'm sure the mayor will quickly build at least 10 new houses. Regular houses? Of course not. Our mayor will also upgrade the homes to fit in even more folks. Will I? Oh, boy. All right. I mean, to be fair, we have room out here. We do. I wasn't really planning on building out here, and I do want to try and look into some farming stuff. So, oh man, this is going to be a lot. Let's get you guys in here. Let's get you guys into the warehouse so that that's up and running properly. Let's get you into the shoemaker so that that's up and running properly as well. And you know what I think it's time to do? I think it might be time to upgrade some of these guys. But if we do, the people that live in there become artisans. They're no longer just townsfolk, which means that some of the businesses that have townsfolk in them are going to struggle a little bit. But I have some ideas for how we can deal with that. I'm also kind of considering the idea that these guys back here should become artisans because the houses are like looking out at the water. So 1, 2, that's the wrong, oh, it was the wrong button. That was the capacity upgrade. That was the wrong one. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have some 3-story artisans back here, I guess. Sure. That was not the button I wanted at all. Okay, well, upgrade. There we go. We have some artisans now. I think that looks okay. It looks all right. It's not what I wanted them to look like, but it's okay. We do now have some problems with workers around here though, because some people have become artisans. Fortunately, there are some buildings like the shoemaker where artisans can actually work. So we could take these guys out of the shoemaker and put 1, 2, 3 artisans in there, which frees up some townsfolk to work elsewhere. So the clothing store, for example, which by the way, we should probably say that this clothing store is going to be blue clothes because the other one was red, and that seems kind of fun. This is all working really well, which is great. This is our butcher, which can have regular townsfolk. It does have demand for 2, so we'll put them in there. And then these market stalls do only want townsfolk, so we have to be mindful of that. The bistro can have artisans, so we'll take some townsfolk out of here and put 2 artisans in there, which should free up some people to work at the cheese stall, which is kind of what we're looking for. In fact, we have 1 more artisan available, so take you out, put you there, and that gives me room for you to work at the fish stall, which means we have just a couple of buildings that are struggling a little bit, but that's okay. I love this. I actually really like these. These are some very cool buildings. Unfortunately, some of the decorations get a little bit weird when you upgrade them, so we will have to go back in. We will have to put the lights back above the doors. I've also just noticed, oh, that actually looks really good right there. I've just noticed that the paint underneath them doesn't line up either, so we'll have to do some grass, and some grass, and then go back in with our non-dithered stone so that this is right in the middle here. This is right in the middle here, and this is right in the middle there. And I think that looks okay. I'm not too sure what's going on down here, so we'll just tidy that up a little bit. I do think that looks good. We're going to want to do a little bit of decoration on these guys, so we'll do the usual. I think we'll go for some red flowers. Do I want to do red flowers on this one? I think we go red, then yellow. Maybe not red, then yellow. Maybe red at the bottom, yellow up top. I think that actually looks okay. This one can be sort of purple down here with, I think, white up at the top. And then this one can be maybe this sort of, oh, I don't really know with this one, actually. I'm not too sure. Maybe this sort of multicolored kind of thing going on. It's purple again. It is purple again. That's not what I wanted at all. Let's take those out, and maybe we go for a different sort of style of flower. Does that look any different to what we have elsewhere? It kind of does. I think we'll just do the red again, and then the yellow again, but it's a different little prop, so it seems okay. I think that looks totally fine. You know, now that I think about it, we do need to place 10 new houses, and we do need to upgrade those houses as well. So I'm sort of looking at this space and thinking that maybe we do just try and place a bunch of houses into this area. I don't love the idea of doing that. I think it's going to look a little bit too cramped. I'm not a huge fan of the idea of this area looking super cramped, but what we could do is start to kind of move the houses around a little bit. Maybe we just sort of double up a road here. We'll try and make like a little avenue in front of them or something, and we'll just see what we can do. We'll try and do this request because it is a thing we need to do anyway. So this guy's going to leave here, and I think I'm going to try and line a couple of these up actually so that we can get an idea of where a road would go in front of them, because that's going to be kind of important as well, figuring out how exactly we are going to do this. Now, those look roughly in line. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. The road's not going to line up perfectly with this little intersection that we already have, and that reminds me, I know that this hasn't been popular, so you know what? While we're here, let me just really quickly fix this, because it bothers me as well. This never quite looked the way I wanted it to. So we're going to bring this right back to about there, and we're just going to do dirt, I think, is what we're going to do. So a little dirt path that just runs straight to there. That does look so much better. It does look so much better. Let's do a 2.5, I guess. And we're going to just run, I suppose, a straight line out of here, although I'd like to try and get it to line up just about perfectly. Now, that's pretty good looking. I think I can work with that. We'll go to about there for now, and that gives those guys a connection. And I think we do try to double this up a little bit. I think we go for that sort of boulevard type road that we've built a couple of times already so that we can do some decorations in there. We can do some trees in there, and it does make it feel a little bit less cramped, which is kind of what I'm looking for. So we'll move this guy over. And man, it'd be so good if you could just, move houses this quickly in real life. It's like, you know what? I'm bored of living where I live. I'm going to, I mean, I guess mobile homes and caravans can sort of move around relatively quickly, but just like picking up your house and moving it somewhere, that'd be great. That'd be really good. Let's make sure this is randomized. Make sure it's snapping to the road. I want to try and get these guys as lined up as possible, but I'm not going to go for perfection here because I will spend forever trying to get these guys lined up, and I don't think we need to spend forever on this because it's not an area that I love just yet. It'll get there. I'm sure we can make this look good, but right now I don't. So I'm not too sure about this one. I'm also thinking that we could maybe have a little bit of fun with the ends of this little sort of avenue thing that we're doing. I think if it curves around like that, that's kind of cool. And then at this end of things, if we straighten this out just a little bit, we want to go to, I want to say about here, and then I want to curve it this way. I think this could be kind of neat if it works, which that sort of does. I don't love it. I definitely don't love it. I think that right there, can I make that a little bit more gradual? That's a little bit better. It's not exactly even, but I think it's okay. I think it sort of works. Yeah. It's just a little bit more interesting, you know? It's a little bit different. It's a little more unique looking. We could kind of smooth out this corner as well if we really wanted to, which I think I'd kind of like to, just to make it a little bit more gentle looking. I think that's pretty good. And yeah, this seems fine. I have admittedly only placed 2 of the 10 houses that it wants me to place, but it's progress. And you know, this actually doesn't look too bad. It's not perfect, but it doesn't look too bad. Now, I will admit part of it is this artisan house that I put right next to the bistro, which I think looks fine. I think a little house there is okay. I think one of the basic ones would look a little rough, but I can deal with an artisan house right about here. We do want to get the painting just underneath the door, and we do want to do the same thing just in here as well. Now, this whole space is going to need so much detailing to make it look a little bit less. It's a little. I don't love this. It is purely out of necessity that we're sort of doing this kind of layout, and it's annoying because I also do need to add additional floors to pretty much all of these. So you need to get an additional floor, and then you, and you need some additional floors. And unfortunately, some of these guys, that wasn't even a new house. These guys all need additional floors as well. But that does, it looks okay. It looks okay. It is going to be a huge bump to the population, which is fair enough. The city thanks you, Mayor, for solving the housing crisis. I thought we were heading for disaster there. And I told you to take it easy. Our town is in safe hands. Oh, we got research points. I am pretty sure, yeah, we're maxed out in research points. I didn't need to do that, is what I didn't need to do. But sure, that's fine. That's okay, that's fine. We didn't need it. Let me get the carpenter, because that gives me sign decorations. Oh, that's kind of exciting, actually. Wooden furniture decorations as well. I want the signs. I didn't really think about the fact that, yeah, metal decorations are a thing. Clock decorations are a thing. Oh, man. There's so many decorations that we can put in here. Let's get you guys into this house, because that brings us up in terms of artisans. We have 16 of them now. If we get 30, I think we level up to a town, which could be kind of exciting. And maybe that's what we do with some of this space. Maybe these guys could become artisans just because it's, you know, we're going to be decorating. I mean, the backs of them are going to be looking at the main road. So I think having some nice decorations in here and some fancy houses seems like a good idea. You want to be near leisure buildings. Now that's going to be slightly tricky. Oh, no, it isn't. We've got you. Okay. Problem solved. You guys can live in here. You guys can live in here. And you guys can live in here. And that gives us 32 artisans, which means we can level up our little town, which is perfect. Very, very excited about that. But first things first, I need to take all of these townsfolk out of here and make sure it's nothing but artisans working in the bistro. I would like to make sure we have people in the butcher. I would like to see where else I can put these guys to work. I can put them in a small warehouse, which is interesting. Okay. That's actually good to know. So I think what we'll do is, that's a clothing store. Nope, don't want to take you out of there. We're going to take you guys out of here, and we'll put some artisans to work in that warehouse just to free up some of the numbers. We can make sure we have artisans in the shoemaker as well. And is there anything else complaining right now? You are complaining a little bit, so let's get someone working over here as well. That should keep us pretty good. Oh, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited to detail this space. As much as I don't love it, I am really excited to detail it. Let's get all of you guys moved into your houses. And I guess we get to work. I guess that's what we need to do. Now, obviously, we are going to be doing cypress trees down the middle of this road because I think it just makes sense. This end part's going to be slightly tricky though, so we'll say that this is the end of the road in terms of where the trees are going. I think that's roughly the middle right there. That's a mid spot right there. That's kind of a mid spot right there. I don't know if I want to do more of them though. I think more of them might be too much. I think some big bushes in between them is actually a really solid idea. That one's going to need to move, but that's okay. We'll move this one to where it needs to be right about there. And this definitely tells me that these ones are closer together than these ones. But you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. We've learned that things don't need to be perfect in Town to City. We'll just do a nice big tree. Is that too much? That might be too much, actually. No, we'll leave that be for now. I think a nice big tree there is okay. Okay, so we have some basic decorations on a bunch of these houses now. Some of them, you know, they're not the happiest of residents that we've had around here. These guys in particular are lacking some luxuries. They need 3 more, which kind of makes sense. We do only have one place that deals in luxury items, and well, actually no, we have the shoes as well, but I guess we just don't have enough range on the shoemaker. I would assume that's kind of what's going on. That's okay. We can figure that out. We do have some research options. We could get the smithy. We didn't build the carpenter, which is fair enough. And also, oh man, chairs, tables, barrels, ladders. That's going to be dangerous for me. That's that's going to be really, really dangerous for me. Look at these. Can I put those on balconies? Oh, I can. Hold on a second. Can I do this and then like a little chair just sort of there and there? Is that an option? It totally is. Oh man. Please tell me you're going to sit on one of the on that chair. Tell me you're going to sit on the new chair. No, you're going to lean over the balcony. That's okay. I love those. Oh, I love those so much. And the barrels and the ladder. The ladders in particular. Like this is, I love how modular everything is. I love that I could do this. I love that I could use a ladder to decorate a warehouse if I wanted to. That's very, very cool. Or I could just like, oh man, the things I could do to sort of just decorate these spaces is so cool. It really is. Like over in this original warehouse where we have just this stuff in the corner, I can now go ahead and I can randomize some crates. I could put this here. I can put this here. I can put a crate here, a little crate right there. It just means that we end up with something that's so much more detailed than it was before. We can do some barrels as well, so it looks like we're actually storing stuff in this yard, which I love. I love that so much. That's so cool. That is so, so cool. I am such a fan of that. I don't quite know where the ladder got to. There it is. Because I'm thinking we just build a ladder there. It's not going anywhere. It's just sort of in storage, but it just looks good. It's just a great little bit of detailing. Anyway, I guess we better figure out where this carpenter's going to go. Now, this little building is very, very cool looking and actually would fit perfectly where this one artisan residence happens to be right now. So I think you need to move. I think this house needs to move. Let me grab you. And I guess in here seems like a decent little spot for it, just for the time being. If we make sure it doesn't create curbs, we can kind of just put it there for now. And I want to say that's okay. We can probably put more out here at some point. In fact, I think that's exactly what we'll do. Not that I'm going to fill these houses right now, because that seems like a terrible idea. We don't need more population. But what we can do is just line up a couple of these guys. We'll speed things up a little bit. We'll have another little park in that corner at some stage. And I guess what we do is, well, how do I want to do this actually? If I build one say here. I'm pretty sure I can get a second one in here, and then that little space, while much smaller, it kind of, you know, I feel like space would be at a bit of a premium around here. So I think that kind of makes sense that that would just be a little area for a little bit of decoration. I also totally forgot to change the colors on these, but that's probably okay. It's not the end of the world. We'll just do 3 of them in a nice bright yellow, and that'll be fine. So that fills in that space. That's okay. They are lacking in luxury goods, but we can do a little something about that once we get our hands on the carpenter, which, like I said, I think would be kind of perfect here. It sort of goes right up against the bistro in a really cool way. It's a little bit more of an industrial building than I was hoping it would be, but I think that's all right. I think we can make that work. So let's just go for, I want to say right there. It is looking like it might be slightly on this path, but that could just be the scaffolding. I think that is mostly just the scaffolding. It absolutely is. And that looks pretty good. It really does. We can go ahead and put, we have 17 townsfolk that can work in here. We'll do 2 artisans to begin with, and then we'll just max it out like this. These guys are happy. These guys are not happy, but I guess that makes sense because they're probably not being covered by shoes. They are being covered by shoes. They're just not being covered by a carpenter, which unfortunately makes sense. What are you not being covered by? Why are you not happy? You still don't have luxuries because oh, I'm an idiot, because the carpenter only provides 1. That's unfortunate. That's, that's really unfortunate. Okay. We also haven't done any of the entertainment stuff just yet. Maybe that's what we could do down here. Or, ooh, you know, I wasn't thinking about putting a gazebo down here, but it does have some luxury stats to it. And it does kind of fit really well in that space. So I think we put a gazebo right there. It does fit, you know, it looks, it looks pretty good in there if I say so myself. And I mean, I do. So let's do a little path that just leads right up to it. I guess we'll do something like this. That seems perfect. We'll get some people working in there. And are you guys any happier? You are, does this give luxury stuff? It does. You guys are just kind of miserable is what you are. You guys are just kind of miserable, but that's okay. We'll manage. We'll get there. We'll get you some luxuries eventually. Now, just while we're on the topic of detailing this space, I want to say that some little walls would be good around here. Not the rugged stone walls, but those guys I think work pretty well. I think it just makes sense that we would have some brick walls going around this space. It feels a little fancier, although, I don't know. I mean, the natural stone wall might actually look better because we have all these pillars on this guy. Let's try it. Let's see if a natural stone wall is going to look any better in this space. Does it? Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. All right, that's fine. We can just have this kind of hug the entire little road that we have going around here, because honestly, no one's going to really be walking in this grass back here. It's all going to be decorative, so we can kind of just fill up this entire space with trees and bushes and all that good stuff that we're going to be needing, which means this guy just needs to wrap the entire way around this bend right up to about that spot. And that does look good. It does look pretty good. And I think it looks especially good with another bunch of cypress trees, but you know, they're spaced out nicely between each house. None of the views are getting blocked by anything there. I actually do really like how this space has turned out. I'm really, really pleased with that, if I'm completely honest with you. Now, what I would like to do is just turn my attention to this space. This is going to be the last little bit of detailing that we do in this area, because we have other things that we need to do, and we do need to get to them. I don't know if I want to do something like a little puppet theater in here. It's kind of tempting just to provide a little bit of entertainment to the area. We have the street organ. I think that might be a bit much. I feel like this is all building towards a fairground. I mean, look, this is clearly a Ferris wheel, okay? So I'm kind of wondering if we should hold off on placing these until we have the Ferris wheel, and then we build like a fairground, like a carnival type thing. That seems like it would make sense to me. I also want to see, are you guys being covered by, I mean, you seem to be. We're 100% happiness in our townsfolk. They don't have a lot of leisure. They don't have a lot of housewares, but that's okay. You guys are kind of much the same. But I mean, they're mostly happy. Happiness across the board is 98%. So I think we can afford to hold off, which means I think I want to go to plaza stuff right here. It's very tempting to go for a well. It could be nice to go for a well, actually. Like, make this a little just like chill space for people to sit instead of... I was going to put a playground in here again, but I sort of like the idea of doing a well. I think that's kind of cool. So if we go into our roads, we can get a nice circle, which we have. I can sort of make it a little bit smaller. Maybe even smaller again, so down to about a 4. And I think we put it there. I think we move the well to kind of the middle of that circle, and that looks okay. I'm kind of hoping I can bring this down even further to like a 1.5 and then just sort of remove the road from directly underneath the well, which we can do. I think that looks okay. And then if we maybe freeform some little sort of sandy road that just comes down here, doesn't look amazing, but it looks all right. I think I can kind of work with that. I can tolerate that. Slightly smaller brush, perhaps, just to kind of bring this guy through to here, and then bring it kind of around to here as well. It doesn't look perfect, but that's okay. As we have learned, it doesn't have to. I think that looks a little bit better. We can detail this. It's what we can do. We can detail this. We'll do maybe a little bench just back here. Maybe a little bench just back here as well. We are going to want some lights in here. We're going to want some walls and fences in here. I'm sort of thinking we do the same thing we've done before, though. I think we do something like the hedge. Go into here. I think we bring the hedge around this side as well. And then behind this hedge, I think we go in with something like the tall wooden fence. So it's not going to be as sort of covered as some of the other walls that we've done, but that's probably fine. I think this will look pretty good if, very big if, I can get this to all work, which it might. I don't know how close I'm going to be able to get this these fences together, but we're going to find out together is what we're going to do. That honestly looks okay. I do think you can sort of move these a little bit more every time you click on them. That seems to be like a little trick with the fence moving. So you can kind of position them how you want, or as close to how you want as you can get. And then you just confirm it and then move them again. That sort of seems to be what you can do here. And I think that looks okay. It's still a little prison yard-ish, but I think it's okay. I think it'll do the job. And once again, there we go. We have a beautiful little sort of relaxing park space in that corner. We have all this space around here detailed really nicely as well. We've managed to grow the population pretty well today. What did I just click on? Did I just accidentally? I don't know what I clicked on. I have no idea where this has come from. Okay, fair enough. Don't you think our house could do with some fancy fences? Something to make it stand out from the rest. That'll show me who's the best taste in town. Yes, please. Surround our home with the prettiest fences available. Oh, they are fancy. First off, those would have been really useful, like, just a minute ago. Second off, I don't know where I'm going to put these fancy fences, but I guess we're going to find out. I suppose across here would certainly be an option. And we can kind of, bring it down and around here. I don't know how long. That's only 33 meters. Really? It does look really good, though, actually. I actually really like that fence. That's very, very cool looking. I'm going to cheat is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do this. There you go. There's your fences. We're gonna just sort of demolish that and get it back, because I will use that. Absolutely. Not right now. You're not getting fences around your house. Fancy those fences. You came through and then some. I feel a little boxed in now though. Oh well, at least I have the prettiest house in the area. What do you think? What if everyone demands those now? What a nightmare. I'll be back at square one trying to outdo everyone else. Don't scare me like that. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Sure. Okay. Well, at least we finished filling this space. It, zooming out and looking at it, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. I've got to be honest. I was really worried about how this would, look a little too boxy, but I think as it kind of rises up the hill, it looks all right. We do need to deal with the fact that people want more luxury stuff, but I'm really not too concerned about that right now. I think what I'd like to do, to be completely honest, is speed things up a little bit so it's a little bit brighter, because I want to be able to see what the next upgrade to the train station is going to look like. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm interested in, because this thing already looks really good, and it, of course, looks better. That's very cool. It's very, very cool looking. That looks, oh wow. I've never seen this before. I've never gotten this far. I've also, I'm going to be honest, I've not watched anyone else play this because I knew I was going to get to it at some point. It's kind of the same with a lot of the stuff that I've been doing recently. I know some other people have been playing like Manor Lords and this game, and whenever I know I'm going to do some YouTube stuff on a game like this, I'm very, very careful to not watch too many people play it. In this case, I watched no one play this because I didn't want to like accidentally spoil anything. But we have public services, which is a new need. We have tier 5 research, which is very exciting. We want to make sure that this is turned off because we don't want to move too many people in. You guys, though, can go and live, I want to say here. I said here. You guys can go and live over here. You're not going to be thrilled about it, but that's okay. And you guys can live in there is what you can do. Now, if we look at our research, we do have the smithy available still, but now we have things like newspaper stands, which I guess is good for public services. Schools are luxuries and public services. That's very cool. The church is a public service with some luxury stuff as well. We have pottery, we have the merry-go-round, we have the Ferris wheel. So I was right. We are going to be building a fairground. Extra clotheslines could be interesting. Third floor housing, I'm less interested in, but I'll tell you what I am going to do. I want the new research equipment because now we can have up to 2,000 research points stored. And then once we manage to get 600, we can increase our vault size so that we can store more money as well. Not that we're having any problems with those things, but I would just like to, just have more. Okay, I know I said I was just doing 1 or 2 last things, but I'm going to build another launderer, and I'm going to build it just in this corner right here because it gives us coverage over all of these buildings on the left, and this should deal with the fact that they don't have enough luxuries. So this guy is going to live, I want to say right about there. Should be perfect. We can speed things up a little bit. We can get our paint ground option, and we can make sure that the ground underneath the door is nicely connected to our path, which it now is. We can make sure that there are a bunch of people working in here. We don't need too many, and that should deal with the fact that you guys don't have enough luxuries. Hopefully. I mean, you're not connected to a warehouse right now, which is slightly problematic. Do we have any warehouses that can cover you? I think we might. It looks like we do, and they're nice and happy. That's perfect. That was really annoying me. Them not being happy was really, really annoying me. So I'm glad that we've got that sorted out. Let's get a light above some of these doors. I'm not going to go too crazy detailing this guy though, because it will probably move at some point, but at least these guys aren't complaining. I mean, these guys are, but they're sort of, oh wow, that's the edge of the map. I didn't realize that was the edge of the map. I thought we could, I don't know why I thought I could build out there. Obviously not, but yeah, that's the edge of the map. Okay. I didn't know that. That is definitely news to me, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We can, we can maybe go up and around and build some stuff up here at some point is what we can do. But I think that is going to do us for today. I was really thinking we'd get into some farming stuff today. Obviously we didn't. But I will say that we're definitely going to in the next episode because we kind of need to. I do want to see what farming's all about. I want to see some more animals, and I think there's animals involved in some of the farming stuff. So that's definitely 100% what we're doing in the next episode. We're not done with Bellevue. We will come back here, but we do need to set up some farms. Anyway, like I said, that is going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.